At just 15 years of age, Kauai's Pono Tokioka is already one of the best junior golfers in the state.
Very competitive, very, very competitive. You know, he wants to beat you every time he goes out. He wants to outdrive you every time you go out and play with him. I know he wants to be the best. I know he wants to be as good as he can get and beat everybody in the state.
That drive and determination propelled Pono to become the #1 ranked player on his high school team. As a freshman, he's also excelled in tournaments both here in Hawaii and on the mainland, going head-to-head against some of the best young players in the country. Ask Pono about his handicap, which for the record is a 0, and he might talk about his chipping or his putting. But what he won't talk about is something he does not consider to be a handicap.
I'm tired, I can't hear. So it's more easier to focus at golf and have noises to distract me.
Because he was born deaf, the only sound Pono knows is the sound of silence. But something he's never experienced is a world of isolation.
We're so proud of him. You know, he has everything that he's faced in life. You know, he just goes at it with everything he's got. Such a positive attitude. You know, he wants to experience everything that everybody else does. He doesn't want any special treatment. And he's got to work a little harder for pretty much everything that he does, but he doesn't complain. You know, he just wants to be there and be fully part of everything that he does.
Something else Pono is doing, whether he fully understands it or not, is raising, if not setting the bar for others.
He knows that all of his hard work has really led to something that has seen the results that he's gotten in golf, which, you know, he's won many tournaments and he's really, you know, at the top of the field right now. And he knows that hard work gets him there. And I think he's aware that he could be blazing some trails here, you know, which is exciting. And making people more aware of the fact that people who are deaf really can do anything that anybody else can. They just need access to communication, you know, an ability to be integrated into different activities. So I think in the back of his mind he does see that. In the front of his mind it's all about the competition and wanting to be the best.
Ironically, Pono and his parents know firsthand exactly what it's like to be denied access to communication. As a Pony League All-Star baseball player 4 years ago, Pono watched as league officials kicked his father out of his dugout. An opposing coach complained because Pony League rules didn't allow for sign language interpreters in addition to the maximum 3 coaches per team. Well, the Tokiokas countered by filing a complaint of their own, a discrimination lawsuit that made national headlines and ultimately changed the rules for Pony League baseball and other youth sports nationwide.
Well, they made the rule change that any kid with a disability, any child, any player with a disability would have the right to have an interpreter.
But despite everything Pono has accomplished, one fact remains crystal clear, especially to his parents. In so many ways, he is still very much a typical 15-year-old.
He's a total teenager. He's so normal in that way. He's just like every other kid. You know, you really got to rein him in sometimes. And, you know, that's what's fun to see him when he's with his friends. He's very popular at school. He's a jokester. You know, he's just really like any other kid.
But when it comes time to chart his own course for the future, well, that's when Pono begins to separate himself from the others.
I get the first staff golfer to play in professional tournaments and show other staff people to play golf. They can do it. I want to win in Masters and win some PGA tournaments and be famous and be #1 in the world.
Thinking back to when we first found out he was deaf when he was 1, you know, I think for Jimmy and I, we both couldn't even imagine, you know, what his life would be like. Would he have friends, you know, and it was really scary at the time. And, you know, if we could have just fast forwarded, you know, all those fears would have gone away because he's just a normal kid at a public high school, hanging out with his friends, being annoying to mom and dad every now and then, wanting to get his driver's license, all those, you know, all those normal things that 15-year-old kids are thinking about and doing.
And despite everything Pono and his parents have been through, from the heartache and the tears to all the successes, both Mom and Dad say if given a chance to rewrite history, to have the last 15 years to do all over again,
That's a hard one. You know, of course, if I could give him his hearing, you know, his life might be different. But, you know, he's such a special kid. I think he's been a gift to us. I think he has something to do in this life, and I think part of that is to bring this awareness, you know, and help other people understand what deafness is and isn't. And I think he's going to do good things in his life, whether it's in golf or anything else. He's been a gift, and I really wouldn't change anything about him.
and you kind of get the feeling that even Pono wouldn't change anything either.
The other kids, I know they're very respectful of you, the fact that you're deaf, but when it's time to play, they don't care, do they?
Yeah. They just want to compete with me and beat me.